Have you ever looked at your to-do list and just felt completely stuck? You know what you need to do, you might even want to do it, but your body just won't move. You scroll on your phone, you stare at the ceiling, you do literally anything else. It feels like laziness, right? We beat ourselves up, call ourselves unproductive, undisciplined. But what if I told you it's not about being lazy? It's about how your brain is wired. This isn't another lecture. This is a story, maybe one that sounds a lot like yours. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was a graphic designer, and she had this huge project for a new client. It was a massive opportunity, the kind that could really launch her career. She was excited, but every morning she'd sit down at her desk, open the design software, and nothing. She'd feel this overwhelming sense of dread. The cursor would just blink on the blank screen. Instead of working, she'd find herself organizing her spice rack, deep cleaning the fridge, or falling into a rabbit hole of cat videos. The deadline got closer and closer, and the panic started to set in, but still, she couldn't start. She thought, I'm just lazy. I don't have what it takes. This feeling is something neuroscientists call the amygdala hijack. Your amygdala is the ancient primitive part of your brain, your internal alarm system. It's designed to protect you from threats. Back in the day, that threat was a saber-toothed tiger. Today, that threat can be a big, important project with a high chance of failure. When Sarah looked at that blank canvas, her brain didn't see an opportunity. It saw a threat. A threat of not being good enough, of the client hating her work, of failing publicly. So her amygdala slammed on the brakes. It flooded her system with stress hormones, making her want to either fight, flee, or freeze. And in this case, freezing looked a lot like scrolling through social media. It wasn't laziness. It was a survival instinct gone wrong. Your brain is literally trying to protect you from the perceived pain of failure or judgment by preventing you from even starting. It prefers the guaranteed immediate comfort of distraction over the uncertain, future reward of completing a difficult task. It's a biological, perfectly normal response. The problem is, it's not very helpful in our modern world. I used to be a master procrastinator. In college, I had a 20-page paper due. I had weeks to do it. Did I start early? Of course not. I waited until 2 nights before it was due. The pressure was immense. I remember sitting in the library, heart pounding, fueled by caffeine and pure panic. I thought, why do I always do this to myself? I felt so much shame and guilt. But that panic, that last-minute rush, was the only thing strong enough to override my brain's fear of starting. The immediate threat of a failing grade finally became bigger than the fuzzy, future threat of writing a bad paper. This is the cycle. We avoid a task because it feels scary or overwhelming. The avoidance gives us a little hit of relief, which reinforces the behavior. Then, as the deadline approaches, the anxiety builds until it becomes unbearable, forcing us into a frantic burst of action. We finish, exhausted and stressed, promising ourselves we'll never do it again. But because we never address the root cause, that initial fear, the cycle repeats itself. We're not lazy. We're just stuck in a feedback loop driven by fear. So, how do we break this cycle? How did Sarah finally get started on her design project? How do we hack our own brains? The key isn't to fight your brain. It's to trick it. Your brain's alarm system is triggered by big, scary threats. So you need to make the task look small and non-threatening. This is the action step, and it's deceptively simple. It's called the 2-minute rule. The idea is to break down your overwhelming task into something you can do in 2 minutes or less. For Sarah, designing the entire brand package was terrifying. But open the software and draw one circle? That's easy. That's not scary. Her brain didn't see that as a threat, so she did it. She opened the software and drew a circle. And then she thought, okay, I can add a square next to it. 2 minutes turned into 10, 10 into an hour. She had bypassed the alarm system. When I had that 20-page paper, instead of thinking, I have to write 20 pages, I should have told myself, just write the title, or just write one sentence. The goal of the 2-minute rule isn't to finish the task. It's to start the task. Because Newton's first law applies to productivity too. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. The hardest part is getting started. Once you're moving, even just a little, the momentum starts to build. Let's try it right now. Think of that one thing you've been putting off. Maybe it's cleaning your room, starting a workout plan, or replying to that important email. Now, what is the 2-minute version of that task? Don't clean your room. Just put one shirt back in the closet. Don't start a workout plan. Just put on your running shoes. Don't write the whole email. Just write the subject line. Make it so ridiculously easy that you can't say no. This isn't about some magical productivity hack that will solve all your problems overnight. It's about understanding your own biology and working with it, not against it. It's about showing yourself a little compassion. The next time you feel that pull toward procrastination, that voice in your head calling you lazy, take a breath. Recognize it for what it is. Your brain's ancient alarm system trying to protect you. Thank it for its concern, and then gently show it that there's no saber-toothed tiger here. It's just a circle on a screen or one shirt in a closet. By using these tiny steps, you're not just getting things done, you're rewriting the script in your head. Each time you start, you prove to your brain that this task isn't a threat. You're building a new neural pathway, one that associates starting with a sense of accomplishment, not fear. Over time, that initial resistance will get weaker and weaker. So the next time you feel that familiar paralysis, remember Sarah. Remember the blinking cursor and the sudden urge to organize your spice rack. It's not a character flaw. It's just your brain being a brain. Your job is to be the gentle, clever guide that nudges it in the right direction. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but sometimes the most important journey is the one that begins with just a 2-minute action. If this resonated with you, and you're tired of fighting that cycle of procrastination, try the 2-minute rule today on just one thing. Let me know in the comments what tiny step you're going to take. It's amazing how sharing your intention can make it more real. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more insights into how your brain works. See you in the next one.